Alright, hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the potential for significant severe weather over the next few days, and also the potential for maybe some isolated severe weather as we get into the longer range. Not isolated, more significant severe weather as we get into the longer range. Currently, you're looking at the radar from the Laughlin Air Force Base as we have supercells developing southwest of Del Rio that will provide a large to very large hail threat in the coming hours. Now you are looking at the DISIS AFB radar as we have an isolated supercell that is over the Anson area. We also have a ongoing line of severe convection all the way up, or strong convection by Wichita Falls, Archer City, Montague, Bowie, and Sunset. Those storms will likely eventually become severe and organize into a linear complex. Now, to look at what the future radar could look like, we're going to be going over to Futurecast with the HRRR here, and looking at that. We'll look at the 22Z, we'll look at the 21Z run, and then we're going to look at the 22Z run. So here's how the HRRR initialized. It didn't do too great, but it didn't do too bad either. As we can see here, as we go throughout the night, we're expecting these thunderstorms, a few supercells to form near Del Rio. Then we could expect a couple isolated supercells to fire in front of the QLCS and then get sucked up into it. This QLCS will be capable of producing several tornadoes and significant damaging wind gusts, along with the chance for isolated large hail. Along with that, some supercells fire along the warm front and in front of the line of the HRRR tomorrow. If this is the case, I would not doubt strong tornado potential, even when we're not even into the significant tornado risk period yet. I wouldn't doubt potential for strong tornadoes given a profile like this. QLCS will likely keep going as we get into portions of the kind of central United States. Now let's go by area and kind of get your general timing down. So Dallas, you're probably going to get hit around 12 a.m. with potential for some stronger storms by Waco around 5 a.m. Areas further to the west, places like Tyler, Texas could start being hit around 11 with an isolated supercell. Taking forecast soundings, there could be some tornado potential with it. Paris, Texas will get hit around 12 a.m. Places like Texarkana will likely start to get hit around 12 a.m. with potential for storms to really meander around until around 1 a.m. or so. Or not 1 a.m., around 3, 4 a.m. Now going into Louisiana here. Let's get your timing down. So, looks like the severe storms will probably enter the state around 1 a.m. as they fire along the warm front boundary there. 2 a.m. we're starting to see some supercells come into the northern section of the state based off the HRRR. 3 a.m. we can see the linear segment really start to build up. 4 a.m. it's pretty much a mess, severe weather, probably a lot across the state. Places like Alexandria are going to get hit around 6 a.m. And then the line sags southward and kind of hits Baton Rouge around 10 a.m. And New Orleans gets hit around 1 p.m. Now going into Arkansas, some stronger storms could start to enter the area around 1 a.m. with maybe southern Arkansas seeing a few strong storms all the way up until 5, 6 a.m. Mississippi and Alabama, your timing. Strong to potentially severe convection will enter the state 2 to 5 a.m. in western Mississippi, providing the risk for large hail and damaging wind gusts along the warm front and maybe a tornado. As we get towards 5, 6 a.m., we start to see these supercells or storms really start to go. Probably some tornado potential at this point as well. And then you can see that kind of traverses and we get a nice QLCS to fire and bringing severe weather all the way into Alabama as well. Now, areas further eastward like Georgia and South Carolina, here's your timing for tomorrow. And then we're going to get into the SPC outlooks. So, your timing. Convection or severe weather will likely enter your state around 11 a.m. with potential for a few supercells to fire around 3 to 4 eastern across South Carolina there. These supercells could progress across the state of South Carolina, providing a risk for strong tornadoes and damaging wind gusts along with isolated large hail as well. As we get across Georgia, we can see these supercells really start to get fired up here once we get towards 6 Eastern, and you can see the environment is conducive for tornadoes along with damaging winds as well. Later in the afternoon, these storms will weaken, and then Florida will be the main show for a while. Now, Florida-wise, it looks like you guys are going to be getting hit with some severe weather to this morning, into the afternoon tomorrow. And then a few other strong storms in the afternoon tomorrow. Those will be capable of large hail, damaging winds, and maybe a sea breeze tornado. And then really strong thunderstorm potential really all day on, what's it called, Wednesday. SPC-wise, we have a enhanced risk today. 10% tornado chance in Louisiana, Mississippi. 30 sig wind and a 15 sig hail. Tomorrow, there's a large enhanced risk from places in northeast Louisiana all the way into South Carolina. Your tornado chance is a 10% significant risk with the significant risk across Georgia and Alabama. A 10% tornado chance exists from Mississippi all the way into South Carolina. Wind risk, we have a 30% chance of damaging winds from northeast Louisiana all the way into South Carolina. And the hail risk is a 15% from anywhere in Alabama all the way into Georgia. A broad area of severe potential will exist across portions of the southeastern U.S. on Tuesday, especially from the central Gulf Coast and the central and south central Georgia and southern South Carolina. A swath of damaging wind gusts and several tornadoes is possible. Day 3, we have another risk of severe weather. This is a slight to enhanced risk. Slight risks encompasses areas from Mississippi all the way to Tennessee to Kentucky and over into Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, with the highest risk level 3 to 5 enhanced, including central Alabama, northern and central Georgia, western South Carolina, and southeast Tennessee and southwest North Carolina. The main risk is going to be damaging wind gusts and tornadoes, with damaging winds being the main threat. Widespread damaging wind gusts exist with potential for a few tornadoes and isolated scattered large hail. Looking into the models for Tuesday, we're going to look into the 21Z WRAP and kind of take a look at Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be a very interesting severe weather setup for sure. We could see, I'm a little bit surprised SPC actually went enhanced. I think this setup is going to be a little bit more isolated than others do. Let's look at your hodograph map and just let it play out here from the WRAP perspective. The WRAP has not done great with the setups over the last few days. I mean, for tomorrow, it has a pretty good area of severe weather in, like, eastern Georgia, but really doesn't have anything really anywhere else being too significant, which is a little bit interesting. I think it's the least bullish out of all the models. Now, for the next day, Wednesday, I think it definitely has a good amount of instability there. And this is definitely a classic sounding for widespread damaging wind gusts with a lot of instability and some deep layer shear as well aloft. And we can see here, hodographs are northwest flow oriented with a lot of instability, 3000 surface base cape, a 2000 mixed layer cape, and steep lapse rates throughout the sounding as well. As we get further north, the hodographs do start to curve more, especially as you get into more of more in Georgia. The hodographs curve more, and you probably have a bit higher of a tornado risk with that. Missouri tomorrow has a conditional severe threat as well. Marginal risk for all severe hazards. Here's a sounding. Not too bad. So that is interesting as well. Now here is here's for Wednesday. And as we can see here, it's pretty interesting how you don't have the largest hodographs ever at this risk. The WRAP is probably underdoing the low-level shear a little bit, which it usually does that. But still, these hodographs are not that good. I mean, this is not terrible. I mean, for tornado-wise, they're not that good. I mean, every other hazard, they're pretty good. For wind and hail, those will work. Now, if we look at a model like the NAM 3 kilometer, they're a little different. Our NAM 3 kilometer wise, we have a lot more instability across the worm sector, along with your hodographs being larger. So we will see which model wins. Further out, there's potential for a trough to kind of exist across the central United States, providing a severe risk. If you quickly look at this with the dew points and temperatures, you can see a risk that exists across the plains into the Midwest as well. And and then also day 4, there is a severe risk across the Carolinas, and Mid-Atlantic, where severe weather is possible. looking at the NAM for that one, and the hodograph map, the risk of severe storms starts early in the morning and really gets higher as you get toward the afternoon hours across the Carolinas. If you take forecast settings, you can see large instability along with enough shear to provide tornado potential, wind potential, and maybe large hail potential. That will do it for this one, though. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in probably a more detailed update at some point as well in the near future.